about driving, it's about where you are in your head, it's about a combination of things, and I've just not been doing the job. Spa, I got caught out, I was P2. I could have finished on the podium, but I didn't. Hungary, I was P1 and spun, and I could have been further up, could have won the race. Hopefully, we'll try to redeem myself.
Anybody who thinks I can't do it anymore, best step right back and take that.
Lewis Hamilton takes it, pole position. He's just got the thing alive. We haven't seen that for a little while. He looked like the Hamilton of old.
Take that.
Get going! Well done!
Take that. I got the formula and I'll rain on all of ya. So take that. And I'm balling, but I don't rub it in your face furthermore. Take that. Anybody who thinks I can't do it anymore, best step right back and take that. I got the formula. I got the formula. Take that. I'll rain on all of ya. I'll rain on all of ya. Don't rub it in your face furthermore. Take that.
He's rediscovered his mojo and he sent a message to everyone. Anyone who doubted me, check that lap out.
Take that.
And he was close. He was just seconds away. Well done, Lewis Hamilton. A strong drive from him today. Now, David's got something very important to show us. We'll do that in a few seconds, but I've got something important to show you. I get asked an awful lot of the time, who decides on all the VTs? Who chooses the music? Who makes the pieces on Formula One? Well, they don't even know that we're talking about them right now. But this is Mark here, and this is Robin. No idea that we're live on the television. Oh, hello. This is Mark and this is Robin. They've been busy all weekend. They're not the only people that make the VTs on the F1 programme. But perhaps for people at home, and we get a lot of tweets and messages, Mark, saying, I'd love to work in F1. What's it like going to the races? You've only done a few with us this year. Explain, what's it like when you come to your first few Formula One Grand Prix?
It's a bit awe-inspiring for the first one. Then you get used to it. It's hard work, but it's one of the best jobs in the world.
And just explain your job from arriving at the circuit on a Thursday until we go home on Sunday.
Arriving at the circuit, we'll discuss what VTs we're going to do, what we're going to film, what interviews we're going to do, and then we'll go back when we've done the interviews and the filming to this man, and he puts it all together. So that's it.
Brilliant. There you go. It might not sound riveting, but it is a fantastic job. No, it is a great job. Well, let's have a quick word with Robin then, because Mark comes to you and he said, right, we've decided we're going to do, I don't know, let's throw something out here, a review of the season for Red Bull. As an editor, how do you then take that idea, make it into exciting television for people at home? Okay. I'm joking.
Well, you're just trying to think of how to tell the story and make it interesting, and try and make people care a little bit about what's gone on and where the interest lies within the story, and make it fun and exciting, really.
Okay. I get a lot of questions, and I'll run through them very quickly. Who picks the music, and how do you decide it?
Eddie Jordan picks the music.
Yeah, right. How long do you get to create a piece? How long is the time in the edit for something like an opener, say the Sebastian Vettel piece that we saw today at the start of the show?
You can probably get about a day to make an opener, depending on what's happened to make it and how it's all gone together, how much stuff has been filmed for it, how complicated the idea is you're trying to achieve. But yeah, maybe about a day, roughly.
Okay, and finally, people always say, do you have to be a fan to work on F1? Robin is the biggest fan of the whole production team. When did you start watching the sport?
1992, I think. Yeah, well, it was 1992, yeah. Nigel Mansell won the World Championship by a mile, a bit like Sebastian Vettel this year. But Martin Brundle was very exciting to watch back then as well, actually.
Well done, well said. That's because Martin's around somewhere and listening in. But nice to chat to you both. There you go, those are the people. And they, I suppose, a bit like speaking to Red Bull about the unsung heroes back in Milton Keynes, these are the people that are actually responsible for our programme, so congratulations. But what are you doing down here? You should be in the gallery working, shouldn't you?
Yes, we should be, yes, yeah. Lotus are very kind and let me out of my box for about only 5 minutes, the boss. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute.
Good. We'll let you get back to work. Well done. See you later on. So that's Mark and Robin. Those are the guys that put in the hard work in terms of making television, but it's the people who put in the hard work in terms of making these cars that we're really interested in. And what I want David to do... Hi, how's it going?
Actually, I know what you're going to ask me to do, but may I just jump in? Rather than me trying to explain the difference between these two cars, we've got Tim Goss here, who's been involved in the design of the McLaren car. So, Tim, if you wouldn't mind, these are both winning cars in Formula One. There's a microphone. The stage is yours. Without getting into too much detail, because, of course, I understand all of that technical aerodynamic stuff, but if you can explain, basically, to me, who doesn't understand, these are two winning cars, but what makes them, the concepts are slightly different if you look at them in terms of styling, but what would you pick out and point to so the camera can see are the key areas of the cars?
Obviously there's some stuff that becomes immediately obvious. I mean, if you look at the way we treated the bodywork, then we elected to go for this U-shaped side pod, which you can see further back. So our approach to trying to feed the rear of the car, rear lower main plane especially, is to go for these valleys down the side of the car. If you look at the Red Bull, by contrast, then obviously the rear end of their car is sucked down very tightly and dramatically at the back, and they're obviously taking a slightly different approach to the way they try and drive the rear end. Similarly, if you look at cooling concepts as well, cooling exits, then Red Bull aim to dump all of their cooling air over the top of the rear lower main plane. In other words, just trying to keep the lower surfaces very clean. Again, just to drive the rear lower main plane really hard. For ourselves, then we aim to keep the top body a little bit narrower there and dump some of the cooling air a little bit lower down through the coke. Moving forward to the front of the car, then obviously Red Bull go for a slightly higher nose, slightly different treatment underneath the nose box and the chassis as well. So Red Bull have these turning vanes underneath the chassis. For ourselves, we're achieving a very similar thing, but with what we call a nose splitter at the front of the car. So underneath the nose, we've got this sort of wing platform that sits there. So they're different approaches to the way we're trying to manage the airflow and vortices going down the car, and you pick a solution and you tend to work with it and optimize it further. If we were just to suddenly take something off a Red Bull car and stick it on our car, then it just wouldn't work immediately. You've got to spend some time pressing on with it and just sticking with a particular solution and optimizing it.
Well, that's great stuff for you to point those aspects out. I asked Ross Brawn earlier this year, what aspect of the Mercedes is he proud of? It's not a winning car right now, but there must be some design element of the car that he goes, you know what, we've really aced it there. So this car is a winning car. It hasn't won the championship, but what area of this car would you say we are really proud of this back at our design?
We're very, very proud of a lot of it, to be honest. We do work very hard to pick the areas that we think are going to deliver most performance. It's one of my jobs is to direct everyone to pick the 1, 2, 3 areas that are going to give us most value for money. Yeah, there's traditional areas, obviously. Front wing, you're always going to be working hard on front wing, and quite clearly this season, then the back end of the car has been immensely performant. So just working around the rear corner and exhaust solutions.
Tim, I was there when this car was launched in Germany at the start of this season, and when people saw the side pods, there was an audible gasp from everybody. Now that the year is almost through, can you explain to us what has been the biggest success on this car, and perhaps the area that hasn't delivered quite what you were expecting, and maybe now is the time to look back and say, if we'd done that or hadn't done this, we perhaps could have won more
we're
races?
Immensely critical of ourselves. I mean, us engineers are always being accused of being extremely negative,
yeah.
But that's what we do is we're always picking out areas where we can improve on the car. If we say where are we proud of the car, then we're proud of the work that we've done in developing the car over the season. I mean, in winter testing, clearly it wasn't the quickest car out of the box, but we work extremely hard to work out where we've gone wrong, what we can improve on the car, and we turned it round for Australia. Obviously, we gave Red Bull a head start, and we fully intend to rectify that next year. But no, I mean, we're proud of the car. We're proud of the way we've developed it over the year. We've obviously spent a lot of time working on the rear end. Spent a lot of time with Mercedes high performance engines, developing the engine, and overall the package is now quick. I mean, we're the quickest car all the way through the Japanese Grand Prix weekend. We're pretty much quickest all the way through until race day here today. So,
but how does that happen, Tim? How do you clearly know how to fix your car very quickly? So there's a disconnect very early on in the season or in the winter process where it goes horribly wrong. We've seen it for 2 or 3 years. Sometimes you come out with a stormer, but traditionally in the last few years, it's not done.
I think if we look back at this season, we recognised where the performance was going to be. We picked a solution. In truth, what we were trying to do, we'd picked the right area. We were just a bit too ambitious. We realised that in winter testing and made a sudden change of direction. And I think the problem was that just gave Red Bull a little bit of a head start.
So Ferrari are saying we need to be more ambitious and more creative. Are you maybe saying let's temper just how ambitious we are at the start of the season?
No. I think if you look at this season, I mean, you could look at the Red Bull and say that it's a conservative car. It's not. They're ambitious and they push things really hard. Okay. You've always got to get that balance right. You know, you've got to get that risk-performance balance right. And to be honest, you're not going to produce a championship-winning car unless you push the boundaries a bit.
We're running out of time on this phase of the programme, but you've got to lower the nose for next year, and the exhausts are going to be out somewhere not underneath the car. Do you think the car should be ever closer next year? Something I said in commentary, but is that how you see it, that evolution should bring the cars even closer together?
It usually does, yeah. I mean, usually if the rules are a bit more stable, then it does tend to bring the cars closer together. But there's 3 teams at the moment that are out there in front. I think next season you probably suspect that the usual suspects, ourselves, Red Bull, Ferrari and Mercedes GP will do a good job, and Renault could easily spring a surprise on us as well.
Okay, I'm feeling like this is an interview almost. Yes, you've got the job. Congratulations, Mr. Goss. We'll employ you for next season to design the BBC car. I'll take your microphone from you, though, and you can continue to admire all of your hard work and all your effort. How many hours on that car?
Too many.
Far too many. All right, thank you very much, Tim. Well done. Well, let's go through to the paddock, I think, because not only are Red Bull still playing horrendous music here in the pit lane, but we can grab hold of a few drivers and things. We're just having a bit of a joust with the medical car. Who wins in a situation like this, I wonder?
Well, at least they can pick you up if they damage you, can't they, with a medical car?
Good point.
But, Jay, just something's on that. You know, those cars that are lovingly tendered and they've got 3 more races to go, the minute they cross the line in the final race, nobody loves them anymore. They're the old news. They're supposedly slower and you just don't want to even see them. They become completely unloved.
Yeah. Well, as we said, when we spoke with Ross Brawn, I think it was the last race, he's not proud of anything on that car this year because it's not a winning car. And even to get Tim to, he was saying he was proud of the work ethic, the way they bounced back, but they don't pick out. I thought they would pick out one element of the car, whether it's the shape of the wing mirror stock or... Yeah.
Well, you think they would look at one part of the car and think, that's taken up too many days in my life trying to develop that bit, or one bit that they really love more than any others. But yeah, maybe not. I'm just looking for some used tyres, actually, because it would be nice to go down and have a look. I think we might have some just down there, Martin. Do you want to maybe go down there and explain how, once again, Martin, we came into this weekend expecting 5 stops, and we ended up with a 2-stop race?
If you want me to.
Good luck.
Oh, well, goodbye. Well, even Sebastian Vettel in the press conference was saying, look, we expected a lot more stuff. The tyres were much better than we thought. The teams don't really know because they had so little track time here. This is a relatively new track. Remember, it started behind the safety car last year, was mostly in the rain. Took an hour and 20 longer to complete last year's race because of the bizarre conditions. And so it's been a completely new experience for them. And as we saw, they only 2-stopped. All the front runners 2-stopped in this Grand Prix. And we wondered even if Kovalainen and co were trying to 1-stop. But these tyres look remarkably good, don't they? And we talked about some wheel weights flying off yesterday. Let's see if we can see some on this. If you were watching the qualifying show, this means that this wheel and tyre are particularly good ones because there's no weight required on that unless they've taken... Actually, they've already taken one small wheel weight off the back, so that one's being cleaned up, ready to... This is where they glue the beads on either side. And if you look at the face of this tyre, they've already shaved it with like a little blowtorch thing and taken the rubber off, as you might have seen previously when we showed you this on the red button. And the surface of that tyre, I think, looks pretty good. You can just see slight signs of graining, these little ripples here where the compound rips instead of grips. And but very, very faint indeed. And the sort of loads those things are put under, 2,000 kilos of downforce. The car's got 3 times its weight with the downforce as it goes through a corner, and these things take a fair pounding. And of course that's a brand spanking new one. All of these tyres are taken away, munched up into little tiny pieces and then recycled, so they won't get used. Once they're mounted, they won't get used again, but at least they won't get wasted. This is a super soft as well, coming off a Red Bull, and you'd have to say that plenty of plenty of brake dust there. Sorry, mate, am I in the way? You just want to see me with dirty fingers, don't you? Yeah, I used to fix my own cars. It's a long time. Let me put that one down. That looks even better. Whose are these?
115, that'll be Sebastian's.
115. So how do you know that?
Car number 1.
Car number 1. Ah, okay. 15th set.
Who's your tyre man? He'll know everything about these. I'm just a fitter.
Car 1, options, set number 5.
Okay, so set number 5 of the option, which is the super soft. The teams refer to prime and not. Pirelli have 4 compounds for the whole year, so we have to refer to them as 2 of 4 that they bring. And the teams only care about the 2 tyres they got at the weekend. They don't care what the compound is. It's the prime, the harder, slower one, and the option. And he's gone. He got bored with that. So, and it's a left hand, and it's a front because it's narrower than the rear. Cars are 1.8 metres wide, but they're narrower at the front. You bored yet?
No, not far from bored. I'm enjoying that greatly. The message that we've had from Pirelli is that the track improved over the weekend. People were worried. They expected 5 stops. It was a 2-stop race. That's what it was. Sebastian looked after his tyres very well. What they're saying is we bought the right tyres, thanks very much, because there was plenty of criticism earlier in the weekend that Pirelli were playing around with Formula 1.
Yeah, but you can only judge that retrospectively. You can't say you're wrong before the event. You can say it's going to be marginal. They brought the softest of the tyres that they have available, and that made some people sit up and think, well, how far can this tyre go? They didn't have the benefit of Friday running to actually start building up a confidence that where the tyre stood. And in the end, I think that this was a perfectly managed race. We saw, one of the fastest guys on the track at the end there was Buemi in the Toro Rosso, and he was on the option tyre, the softer of the tyres, and then the front runners were all on the prime. But Sebastian Vettel, when he needed it, cranked in a lap time and took the fastest lap.
He did indeed. Pirelli have a 3-day test after Abu Dhabi, the penultimate Grand Prix of this season. They want to take the 2012 tyres to that test. It's a very critical test for them, and they're saying, look, we're pushing the boundaries a bit. The driver's title's over, now the constructor's title's over. We decided to come here and take a few risks because we need to know what to do next year. So actually it's paid off. I think the tyres were probably too hard here last year. These ones have proven with a 2-stop race, as you say, the fastest lap of the race set on the final tour suggests that they could have been even softer.
Yeah, we have to say thank you to Pirelli because they produce tyres which easily make it to each of their stints. We're not going to see people having to manage their tyres. All they're going to be doing is managing the fuel level as it burns off. People don't run out of brakes nowadays. The brakes are so efficient, they can take this extra weight at the start of the Grand Prix. So the only thing that's going to differentiate the underlying pace of the cars is the tyres and the way they use the tyres.
Yeah, Pirelli have absolutely been a success this year coming into Formula 1. I just wish them good luck over the winter because the teams get smarter and Pirelli will have to get smarter to bring marginal tyres throughout next year. Should we go back to the action? Should we start with the start of the race? What do you think?
Following you.
You fancy that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Good place
you follow
to start.
me and then I'll follow you. Let's go back to the start of the race then. And we've already discussed this with David Martin, but Sebastian Vettel looked at Mark Webber throughout that race, and that was Sebastian's race that Mark led today because that would have been Seb's race if he hadn't got past Lewis early on. Once again, when people say he can't overtake, he pulls out an important move right at the beginning and does what he does best.
It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, this really, I have to say, in commentary, this totally surprised me because I thought Lewis had done it all he needed to at this point, and Vettel was all over him down the first straight. Some pretty good driving going on behind them, very impressive. And look at this, straight on top of him, got better traction off that turn 3, gets himself in position up the inside and takes the lead. And I suspect there's only one person more surprised than us, and that would be Lewis.
Hamilton, yeah.
Because I really thought he'd done everything he needed to do to lead the Grand Prix, Lewis there, but Sebastian Vettel had other ideas. Let's watch the start from what we thought would be the grubby side of the grid.
And what we were worrying about here, David, was, is Sebastian going to be third by the time they get here?
Yeah, in the end, there was a lot of sweepers out there before the Grand Prix clearing the inside line, but historically, you need cars running over the racing line to suck out the dust. And but in the end, he made a perfectly good start, picked up the slipstream, put Lewis to the inside, which would have made his tyres a little bit dirty as he ran into turn 3. But this is the thing that is a little bit surprising. Coming out of here, Lewis is opening the gap slightly. Sebastian will have unleashed some cares that he's got left, and it was just the rate at which he was able to get the car inside. Actually, from that angle, it's a much better angle. He'd only just got his car alongside Lewis. It looked on the forward-facing shot that he had managed to really get the whole car past.
I think that Lewis has decided today he's not going to have any contact with anybody because when Mark came up the inside of him into the first corner as well, much later on in the race, he didn't fight him too hard. It was smart driving, actually, because I think he's just trying to stay out of trouble, the boy, frankly. And because you're right, he didn't make it too hard at all there, did he? And this is on board then, Button.
And he's about to get swamped by all and sundry coming down here, just as Sebastian's fighting with Lewis Hamilton. Jensen's suddenly got the wrath of Formula One all around him.
Oh, it's a hard-charging Felipe Massa there. Yeah, and then...
it dives between the two of them. That's a great shot from the front camera, the camera looking down on that action. But then he gets a little bit too punchy on the way into turn 4, and it gets even worse at that point. But I think Jensen was a little bit surprised. I think when he sees that turn 3, he'll be a little bit angry with himself for being too cautious down into there. And now, because he's behind both Ferraris.
It was a tough race, actually, for Jensen. Making stops, coming out, getting his strategy affected by other guys. We've already heard from him. We've yet to hear from Fernando Alonso. This is the race start from his perspective, and that was the moment that it all started to go wrong, the moment that he was behind Felipe Massa, David.
Yeah, he made a very good start, actually, from the inside. Was looking like he was able to pull up the inside of his teammate, but in the end, he had to back out of it into turn 1, picks up the slipstream, and then run into the limiter there as he pulled out the slipstream. Look at that, Massa was able to then throw it up the inside of Mark Webber and Jensen Button. It was very much a case of, his teammate had committed to a breaking point, and if Jensen Button had turned in, then that probably would have ended in tears. But nonetheless, you see Mark Webber positioning himself here. As Rosberg went round the outside, a moment of glory before losing all those positions again. And a great view there of Mark Webber getting round the outside of Jensen Button.
He got two places back there, Mark did.
Absolutely, and Felipe Massa, and then this is where he gets inside Jensen Button, and he's going to spend pretty much the large part of the afternoon staring at the back of his teammate's Ferrari.
And getting these onboards has absolutely changed the way you can watch Formula One, Martin, hasn't it? They're so exciting, gives you a whole new perspective on what's happened.
It does, but I think because the racing's so close, because the 6 cars for those 3 teams are so closely matched, the drivers know that every one of these corners matters later on, and how it mattered for Alonso. It wrecked his afternoon, basically, those 2 corners.
It did, because those 2 corners meant he stayed behind Felipe Massa. I wonder how Felipe felt having wing mirrors full of Fernando all afternoon. Let's hear from him.
Well, Felipe, tell us about your race from your point of view.
Well, I think the race was all right. I was not lucky with the first and even the second pit stop, because the first one I lost so much time by going out. It was passing so many cars, so I couldn't go. Had to wait. And the second one, I go out of the garage, and 2 cars was in front of me, 2 slow cars, and I lost so much time behind these cars. In one lap and a half to pass these guys, and this was a big problem because Fernando came out in front of me from the garage just because of this traffic I had. And I would say after our pace was okay compared to the guys in front, so I think this was positive.
And a good battle with your teammate out there as well.
Yeah, good battle with even the guys in the first lap, with Webber. I think that was not a very quiet race.
Well, we mentioned how point of view racing has changed the way that we can observe Formula One and the things that go on, and this is just brilliant. This is Jensen Button, Felipe Massa and Fernando Alonso. There's dirt coming off the back of Fernando's car. They're all over Jensen's visor. This was great racing, David.
I love it. And the thing that I really get excited about is you've got 3 different manufacturers there. You've got hundreds of people involved in the design phase, concept and manufacturing, and then they deliver their cars, their works of art, to the drivers to go and make their best with. And it was pretty much nip and tuck at this point of the race.
It's almost like you're back in the cockpit, Martin.
It is. I mean, it really...
I never faced that way, did you?
I did,
only when he drove for Eddie.
Not intentionally. And in fact, the regulations say the driver must face forwards, actually, which is an interesting one, so that he's not sitting looking that way out of a mirror. But
stops Adrian Newey coming up with some radical new design, doesn't he?
Laying the driver down. But I think these drivers put so much trust in each other, and I think that's why the spat between Felipe and Lewis has been so fascinating recently, because they're doing close on a couple of 100 miles an hour wheel to wheel, and they do trust each other. They know they're going to be hard, but we've seen a lot of fair driving today. Some supreme driving.
Well, a championship battle was won today. Red Bull were crowned. We had a brilliant race. Sebastian won again. Lewis Hamilton back on the podium. But probably the highlight of the race for most people was Fernando's crying wolf moment, oh, I give up, and then suddenly getting right on the back of Jenson Button. Let's hear from Fernando Alonso.
Well, Fernando, for someone who said, I give up, you seem to still be pushing quite hard at the end. Did you really mean I give up on your team radio?
Yeah, I did 20 laps, qualifying laps, to catch the group in front. When I arrived there, I had a little moment close to the wall in the last corner. I asked the team how many laps left. They said 2, and I said, with 2, I cannot do it, guys. So we arrived a little bit too late into the battle.
What do you think would have happened if you'd been released past Felipe Massa earlier on? Because you seem to be stuck behind your teammate for quite a while.
No, I was not much quick at that time. I struggled a lot. The first part of the race with the super soft, I finished the front right very quickly in lap 3 or lap 4. So I tried to manage the degradation on that tire, and then after the stop, I found myself between Petrov and Michael, really close to the accident in 10.3. And then, as I said, behind Nico, also we lost a little bit of time, but I was not much quicker at the time of the race. I was only quick in the last stint with the last set of tires, so we will try to see why.
When you look at Red Bull and McLaren, do you still think that you're the ones chasing, and will it be possible to catch them by the end of this year?
No, I don't think so. I think everything will remain more or less the same, unfortunately. They are a little bit ahead of us, no doubt. Especially on Saturday, they seem very strong. We are 8 tenths or 9 tenths behind them. On Sunday, we arrive, as today, all in a group. In 2 seconds, we arrive 4 cars. So definitely we deliver a better performance on Sundays than Saturdays. So we need to keep working on that. And if we have some podiums finishes in the remaining races, will be welcome. If we, by surprise, we can win 1 race, will be even better.
Okay, so there you go. Ferrari's aim to win another race. I'm afraid to say this is the moment where you need to turn down the volume on your television, because we're outside Red Bull, the music is blaring, but if ever you can give them an excuse for a party, that excuse is right now, I suppose. Am I sounding like an old man? Look at you two, you're sort of bouncing away.
If I can hear you, you might be.
And I'm here moaning and groaning and mumbling about the music. A quick line about Fernando Alonso. So it turns out he was basically saying to the team, I'm not giving up racing, I'm not giving up this race, I'm giving up catching them, the car can't do it.
Well, clearly the car did do it. He drove an amazing sequence of laps there, and he was right on the tail. I think that was a bit of showboating between the teams. I think that it's also a very strong message to Ferrari that, where you need someone to deliver out-and-out laps consistently in a Grand Prix, I'm your man, but I don't think we should be really surprised by that.
And you've been ignored by Fernando on the grid for years, you know him quite well. What will he be saying to the team after this one? What will he go in and say to them in the debrief now?
It's like I said in commentary, he's gone to Ferrari to win a world title, and 2 years in, he's not even looked close, really, has he? I mean, he was in the hunt last year to an extent, but he's saying we think that we'll come out strong next year, but he's got to say that, and he must in his heart of hearts be thinking, well, how, why, what's going to be different, because we haven't done it this year, we didn't do it last year, and how are we going to be better? They've got Pat Fry there now, and they've got other fresh blood in there, but he's got to be worried that he'll turn up with just the same old in March.
Well, that's what they can't do. I spoke to him before the race about that, didn't I? And I said you can't afford another slow start. Exactly the same as we mentioned to McLaren there. They also can't afford a slow start to next year. Well, as you can see, they're preparing for a photo, preparing for some celebrations. Before this happens, let's very quickly hear from Jaime Alguersuari. A great race for Toro Rosso today. He finished 7th, thanks to getting past Nico Rosberg. And then Sebastian Buemi also finished in the points. He finished 9th. Let's quickly hear from them.
Well, Jaime, our commentators have given you the driver of the day. Well done. It was a strong performance from not just yourself, but the team.
Thank you. The reality is that the Toro Rosso team have done a fantastic job, not just this weekend, also in Suzuka. We brought new updates on the car, and they seem to work pretty well. In Suzuka on Saturday, we messed up a little bit, so we didn't understand exactly what was going on the car. Now we do. All the aerodynamic parts is not that easy job for the engineers, for the drivers. So we managed to put a good lap yesterday on qualifying, and I was not so worried about tire degradation, so I was quite sure about 2 stops. Today worked perfectly for us, the safety car, the pit stops, and obviously fantastic straight line speed. That's why I could manage to pass Nico. I was suffering a bit more in sector 2 against him, so that's why I thought that leaving all curves for the first corner, after the first corner, and getting the advantage of the DRS was going to give me a big help, and that's what happened. I used all DRS, all KERS 100%, and I could manage to pass him in the last corner, in the last lap, which I was not expecting that.
I don't think any of us were. You came past with tremendous speed. You must have had a real smile on your face seeing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Very happy for sure for the team, because we've been working very hard, especially the mechanics, to fit all these new parts in the car and pushing really hard. Now I'm very happy that we are much closer to Sauber. I don't know if we are in front or behind, but we must be very close to them. And 3 races to the end, I think we can still make it to be in front of them and just continue with this performance, finish in the top 10 again in the next races in India and hopefully in the last 2 in Brazil and Abu Dhabi. And just continuing with this. Thank you.
And whilst Toro Rosso celebrate their own success, this is how they're celebrating down here at Red Bull. Admittedly, a double points finish is impressive for the sister team. The world title for both the driver and the constructor is what was expected of this team, and they've delivered. And now they can celebrate. And what a way to do it, with both drivers on the podium, David, so they get 3 nice trophies and 2 titles.
Doesn't get any better than that. Back-to-back champions, double champions. No one can deny that it was thoroughly deserved. And they're going to have the work cut out to make it 3 championships on the bounce, though. A lot of competition out there, but for the moment, this is Red Bull's day.
And this is lovely to see the drivers, David, making sure that every member of the team gets a kiss and a cuddle, whether they're male, female, short or tall, it doesn't matter. They're congratulating them on the work they've done. And there's Mark meeting everybody. It gives you an idea of how many people work in these teams. Mark, if we could just have a very quick word. How does it feel for you to have helped this team win the Constructors' title? Well done.
Yeah, I've done a bit towards it. It's a great team effort. Milton Keynes, Very, in Austria, everyone over there at Red Bull. So, DC knows where we've come from. Obviously, a lot of his work as well, all those years ago, because it doesn't come in 5 minutes. It takes a lot of team discipline and effort to beat Ferrari and McLaren, the world-class team. So it was a great effort.
Mark, great driving out there, wheel-to-wheel stuff through the middle sector. We were a little bit confused, though, when you came in at the same time as Lewis Hamilton. Yeah. We thought you either had to go short or go long to beat him. Was there much discussion on that?
I was confused as you were, mate, basically, yeah. I mean, the tyres are in good shape. I wanted to keep going, but that was a shame. That was a real shame, because the way it went.
He seemed to have so much better traction than you out of turn 1 that basically kept him ahead of you, would you say? Yeah,
that's right, mate. He was good also in the intermediate gears at the bottom as well. So I think when I got past him at turn 5, you could see the acceleration as well. So, he was strong in the first sector. I was strong in the last sector, but you can't do much in the last sector.
So another podium for you, another trophy for the trophy cabinet. Still confident that win that's eluded you so far this year will be yours in one of the next 3 races? Yeah. You seem to have the pace in the car.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of positives again today. It's a very, very good start, good first lap, and but you need to get everything perfect to win. I don't think the win was going to be difficult today, but to get if the strategy was a bit different, we might have had a different result.
Okay, and have you had a chat with Casey Stoner, new MotoGP world champion?
I haven't yet, but he's had a phenomenal year. Obviously, he's owned that Honda this year, similar to Seb in a way. They both really dominated the championships, and Casey's a really phenomenal talent. We know that, and I love seeing him do so well for us as a country.
Okay, Mark, thank you very much. Well done. And as one driver departs, another one arrives. Sebastian, thank you for joining us once again here on the F1 Forum. Slightly more subdued celebrations from a week ago, but no less important. The team have got what they've worked hard for, what they deserve, the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, it was a great day for us, a great race. I enjoyed it so much, to be honest. It's yesterday I was very happy. I know I was second and didn't, get the pole, but I had the feeling I got everything out of the car, had a very good lap, 2 very good runs in Q3, and today, maybe not a perfect start, but a very good first lap. I was able to, discharge KERS where I wanted to, and get Lewis at the final attempt and down to turn 4. And after that, especially looking after last week at the back of the stints where we were always struggling with tyres, this week it was the other way around. We were superior and able to pull away. So.
Okay, well, let's just ride on board with you if we can from the start of this race, just to show you when you got past Lewis Hamilton, because Martin has said that he was surprised in the commentary box that you managed to get past Lewis, so I imagine Lewis was just as surprised. So talk us through this, your first race start as the new world champion.
See there, he's pulling away a little bit, not much. And then obviously I had Jensen on my right, which we can't see. Tried to have a good exit because I knew there was a strong headwind. So I didn't use much of the curves, just tried to stay in the toe. Get the advantage, which now really seems to come. I knew that on the right there it would be too tricky and it would get me on the way back, so I just tried to prepare the next straight. There you go. I had Jensen on the right, but then got a good exit, very close, and now could discharge the curves. Didn't know where to go, left or right, and then decided to go left. And Lewis was very fair. I was at the maximum of the braking, nearly went straight here, as you can see. But it was just enough and to get past Lewis, which was important, obviously, to use our pace that we afterwards had.
Were you nervous when the safety car came out?
I wasn't really looking forward to that. It was not really what we needed, so not nervous, but I knew that, again, it would be tight, because I was fighting the whole of the first stint to break the toe, because the back straight is so long, and you see the car just getting in the mirror bigger and bigger, and I was happy to break the toe at the end, and the safety car, I knew that, again, I have to make a very good restart, make sure that he can't get me straight away, and then break the toe, which was extremely difficult. He was pushing very hard. I had, some tire issues, and I was sliding a little bit. He came closer again, but then seemed to stabilize. I, slowed down, not slowed down, but took it a little bit easier in places to save the tires. And said, okay, if he gets me, fine, but I know that I will have to do that to save the tires for later on. And that was just the point when he, I think, started to have more severe tire wear, and I could pull away. So it was fantastic.
We heard in the broadcast the message you got from Rocky, which presumably, and I want to ask Christian about this, Rocky was saying something along the lines of, preserve the tires. You might need to defend later in the race. That was a message to say, don't go chasing fastest lap.
I've been saying to Rocky for about 3 laps, slow him down, and we try and give him information that might slow him down. And so telling him there was a pack of fast cars behind the car behind, we thought might do it. And then on the last lap, he's suddenly up in all the sectors, and you did get fastest lap by about a second, I gather, in the end. But Rocky didn't want to tell you.
Yeah, he said that we didn't get it, and he will kill me after the race. So,
well, it's not bad when you're trying to slow your driver down, but what is it about having the records, having the fastest laps that you like?
It's not really records, but it's an ego thing. I think it's silly because clearly there's no points for it, and I just had the impression we had such a good season and so many wins, incredible the number, 10 wins in the season, and it's not over yet, and no fastest lap. Surely the races today are different because it matters at the end when the car is light and so on, but I just thought it would be wrong.
So you're saying if you get all those wins and win the title, you deserve a few fastest laps as well, right?
I have one now, I'm satisfied, so that's
I'm interested to know how because I sensed third place last week. You were a little bit disappointed last Sunday afternoon. Was today more satisfying, although obviously the championship came last week?
As a race itself it was, because I had the feeling I really got everything out of it. Last week we were struggling with the tires. I know that our pit stops weren't great. My approach wasn't on the limit. Small things here and there that didn't come together the way they usually do, and they should, because you always want the best. David and yourself, you will know it 100% when you leave the car after the race and you know that I have left something on the table. Sometimes it costs you a position, but sometimes just to yourself that you have left something, and you can't be completely satisfied. Whereas if you have a good race, and even if you finish 4th or 7th, but you know exactly that was it, and it's a very good feeling.
And this time a week ago, I'm very sorry to say we brought tears to your eyes on the F1 forum, but tears of happiness rather than anything else when we showed you the back-to-back world champions that have gone before you. You've now had 7 days, admittedly a very busy 7 days, no doubt. How do you reflect on your second title a week on?
It started to sink in, and it's you wake up in the morning and you're just happy. So it's unbelievable. When you showed me that, I will never forget. The names. I know all the names. I love history of Formula One. I couldn't name any all the championships in every year, but you know, when I started, David was one of my heroes. Martin, you know, I know the drivers. I know these Formula One drivers, and knowing now that I'm one of them, and one day I will be seen as an ex-Formula One driver is already an honor. And knowing that, you know, we've won a championship and now two is difficult to put in words.
It's a little bit early to think about, but these boys can't go on forever. You're always welcome to stand in the pit lane.
I don't want to sound greedy, but you know, it's something you have to experience. Not everyone can drive a Formula One car. And knowing that you have raced a Formula One car, I think for me is already a massive achievement that you can always be proud of in your life, because there's so limited people. So you will never. Probably. Never race.
You shattered my dreams. I thought it was going to happen one day. No,
that's it. So.
Listen, I enjoy this. This does it for me. But while talking about dreams and things, just sum up finally how good Sebastian has been. Jensen's already told us he thinks he really deserves the title this year. He is an F1 driver, and what a driver, hey?
He's a very special young man. You know, he's a big part of our team, and to watch him grow, to watch him develop over the last couple of years has been fantastic. And you know, even the karaoke he takes seriously, and unlike these two guys, but you know, he's talented in many areas, and that's what makes him you know, such a popular and great member of our team.
Okay, well done. You've shattered my dreams forever, but yours are still well alive. You've got plenty more titles to come, but well done. You, Red Bull, the whole team have worked so hard, and you might like looking at this as well, actually. This is your year. This is how you've managed to win the Constructors' Championship, Sebastian.
That's what I'm talking about.
No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now.
Thank you, boys. Woo! What a race.
No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now.
We keep on working. We do our thing. We are who we are.
We're the renegades of this atomic age. This atomic age of renegades.
Ring, ding, 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 ding.
Since the prehistoric ages and the days of ancient Greece, walked down through the Middle Ages, planet Earth kept going through changes, and then the Renaissance came. The times continue to change. Nothing stayed the same, but they were always renegades.
They are fighting for it.
Mark, you need to maintain the gap.
We're the renegades of funk. We're the renegades of funk.
That was brilliant. Well, it was touch and go, but it was brilliant work by the Red Bull mechanics.
We're the renegades of funk. We're the renegades of funk.
Done an amazing job with the team.
Well, it's pretty straightforward for us. We just drive as quick as we can.
This is better than anything you could imagine. It's a pleasure every week to be with you. I'm loving it. Oh, fantastic, boys.
Great drive, Mark. Fantastic. We've won the Constructors. Thank you. Well done.
And Sebastian was listening to that. It's been some year. You must have forgotten all the things that you've done.
Yeah, not really. I haven't forgotten them. I mean, it's not that long ago. And in particular, this place here stands out because last year we had this engine failure, 10 laps to the end, and you know, it wasn't looking too good after that. But I think we've grown so much since then and shown moral. I don't know if it makes sense, but I hope it does. And you know, really by pulling it together, and when people expect you most to break down, we stayed there, and you know, we still got it. So it's great. The year after to be here, 10 laps to the end, I thought today.
Listening for all the noises. You're off to the UK, aren't you, next week? You're off to the factory in Milton Keynes?
Yeah, we'll be there on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to see all the people there. So, you know, winning the constructors, winning the drivers, back to back is incredible. So I said it on the radio a couple of times this year. You know, I'm just so happy. I don't know. I mean, I should find all these special words now, but I'm just enjoying what I do. We love what we do, and it's great to be part of that.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're savouring it. That's the most important thing, to be aware of where you are. And I think happy is all you need to be. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to you as well, Christian. Well done to you. Well done to Red Bull. Well done to them. And also, we must say, also well done today to Lewis Hamilton. He had a strong race. And as they cuddle here, Lewis finished on the podium. Well done to him. He's talking to Lee McKenzie.
Well, Lewis, it was great for us to watch. I'm sure you're disappointed you didn't get the win, but the battle with Mark Webber was fantastic. Just really strong, clean racing, wheel to wheel.
Yeah, I've not been caught up, right? That's good. Yeah. No, definitely. I went backwards, so I'm not ecstatic, but I'm happy for the team. To get some good points for them, to be the one that's got the most points from this weekend, and I think I drove pretty well in the race. And considering how much quicker their car was, which was a considerable amount, fortunately with good exits and stuff, we were able to just about stay ahead. But damn, I had to push hard.
And just tell us about the start.
Yeah, our starts have been fantastic for the last, especially this half of the season, and got a great start. Was able to position my car well in the beginning, and then the second straight I didn't position my car very well. I thought I was on the outside, but I didn't even realise there was still a car length gap on the left of me. So small mistake there, but nonetheless, you can't go through life without making small mistakes. But either way, he would have overtaken me because they were just too quick.
And how was the car? It didn't always look the most comfortable at times. It just seemed to sort of evolve in different stages. Is that how it felt from your seat?
The car started off reasonably well, but then it just got worse and worse on the front end of the car. So I had everything, all my adjustment switches that I had to give me more turning. I had them all down to, up to the maximum. Diff was on the maximum to help the car turn. There was nothing else I could do, and I got in the pit stops. I got all the wing that I could possibly have, and I was turning maximum lock, almost maximum lock, and just the car was not turning. So that's really where Mark was catching me. I was just not able to carry the speed through the corners because of my front end. But the rear end was very good. They came on the radio and said there might be potentially a problem with my front wing, but I looked at it, it looks fine. So I think just maybe I didn't have the best setup for the race.
The viewers at home who'd set an early alarm, who thought the racing might be over for this season, you certainly gave them something to smile about. Do you feel this has been one of your stronger races of late?
Yeah, definitely. I think especially with the amount of pressure that I was being put under, it was very easy to lock up, to make a mistake, to go wide, and I didn't do it at once. So very, very happy with that in terms of that performance. And of course, the last 6 races I've not been anywhere near this position, so it feels good to be there.
Races for the season. Is this the classiest?
Oh, hello. Sorry about that. You're listening to Lewis and you're looking at us, but thankfully we weren't misbehaving or anything. And if you take a look behind us, you can see the sun setting here just in the distance. I don't know whether you can make it out. There's one of the huge shipbuilding pieces of equipment. I mean, that's what this place is famous for, building ships, and suddenly it's also famous for staging Formula One races.
Absolutely. I think that's our hotel. Actually,
it is,
just
yeah.
beside it. We have a beautiful view of that wonderful crane.
Yeah.
So any crane spotters out there, come and stay in that hotel beside the track.
Very good. Well, it was car spotters who were having a field day here today, and they're still here actually. If you look, I mean, I have to say I don't think we're going to struggle getting out of here. The traffic won't be too bad because if the grandstands were half full, then that would be considered a success. But those fans who are here and who have enjoyed it are as passionate as ever. They saw a fantastic race, a great reason for everyone in the UK for being out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, and a fitting way to crown the constructors this season.
It was, wasn't it? Red Bull secured it. Can you imagine being a kitchen shop or a car dealership in Milton Keynes? All of those championship bonuses that are coming the way of the team, and well deserved, of course. But I really enjoyed the race, the fight between Lewis Hamilton, Mark Webber and Jensen, the 2 Ferraris. Supreme skills. I really appreciated that today.
Can you set up one of your famous Brundle motors within a couple of weeks to try and get hold of all those boats?
We might. Is it a pop-up? That's the new expression. They're pop-up dealership.
Yeah, pop-up dealership. We could do that together. They might come and buy a car from us. I'm not sure I'd buy a car from you. What did you make of today?
I would give you one, a car.
Thank you.
So I wouldn't want to sell one to a
Kind
friend.
man, you kind, lovely man. It was, as I say, a race fitting of crowning the Constructors' World Champions. And well done, Sebastian.
Yeah, incredible. What more can you say? I was just commenting while we were watching the interview there, how relaxed and how much time he gives. You'd think he'd be wanting to rush off and do something else, but the whole magnitude of the achievement, he's almost like he's reflecting on it and sharing it with us. And that's the thing that I think is really remarkable about Sebastian Vettel. There's been lots of great fast racing drivers, lots of world champions, but the way he communicates, and not his first tongue, and the way he wants to share that with us, I think is a good blueprint for all the young drivers out there who wonder what are all the boxes I need to tick to be a successful, not only winning driver, but a good ambassador for the sport.
And I wasn't here for the last German world champion. How does he compare to Michael Schumacher in his title-winning era?
Well, I was saying Michael used to walk around doing that for for some reason to me.
No.
That's probably because he was beating me. But I think that Michael was a lot more reserved, and we had I think a great interview with him last year where he said that something happened in his early life that he had a trust broken, and that made him a little bit more reserved and not quite as open in sharing his experiences and his feelings, and he's carried that through his 7 World Championships, which means we don't really know the real Michael Schumacher. We know he's a very winning driver, but who is he off track?
I think it was you crashing into the back of him. Probably. And now we go to India, and all of us very, very excited about coming to India. We came here really to South Korea as a bit of an unknown. We've already said we're 5 hours on the train or on a bus from Seoul. It's a very quiet area. Nothing at all like Delhi, where we'll be in a couple of weeks' time. And if India lives up to expectations, it is going to be an incredible weekend.
I think it should be a very colourful weekend. We're hearing that the track is quite spectacular and lots of undulation and contour change. You saw it when it was just rocks and earth, didn't you?
Yeah, well, mainly mud and water, actually. It was.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to compare what you saw last year with what we're going to find in 2 weeks' time. I hope it's ready. I'm sure it will be.
I'm sure it will be. Okay, thank you very much indeed for being here. Thank you as well. We really do appreciate it, and we really are aware that you guys get out of bed very early on a Sunday morning to join us for Formula One, and we just want to make sure that this very large piece of equipment doesn't end the F1 Forum in a negative way, because it's been a great race, it's been a great day. I was going to say we'll step out of shot and let you have a look at the sunset, but that's not really the case anymore, is it, as they're clearing up here. But thank you very much for being with us, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks for the Indian Grand Prix.
And the next 55 laps put the engaging smile back on Lewis Hamilton's face. And Vettel leads the race!
Next time on Formula One, round 17, India.